Jeff thought he was invincible. Jeff thought no one could take him down, as he was going on another rampage throughout the entire town, but eventually he was caught. As he went through the forest, men with blasters would try to blast at him, but they were no match for Jeff and his supernatural-like speed. However, eventually, something was dropped from the sky, as everything lighted up as Jeff was blown up, as then he would wake up in the Hazbin Hotel universe. As Jeff would look around, his skin would be permanently white, just like he normally was, but his tongue was a reptile tongue, and he felt a strange tail come out his backside. As he looked around, he saw that his hands were sharp and that he had knives for fingers. As then he would laugh and say perfect. As Jeff would start to walk around, as he would look for someone to test out his new powers with, as he felt a new power wash over him. As this someone was a little imp walking to work, Jeff would walk up to him and say, "Hello there." The imp would gulp and start to walk away, as Jeff would slowly walk closer and closer and closer. As Jeff walked, he slowly put his hand of knives up to the wall. As he walked, there was a loud screech noise being heard, as Jeff would simply smile and begin to laugh in the distance. As the imp thought he got away, suddenly Jeff would appear in front of him and take care of him, as he would start to laugh maniacally. Jeff would enjoy this and he would go on a spree. However, Jeff would learn something he didn't like. Sinners would come back. They would be reincarnated after being destroyed. He wanted to get rid of people permanently. However, there was a way to do this, the exorcism. All he would have to do was get an angelic weapon. But how would he do that? Jeff didn't have a home. He simply went on rampages. So Jeff had a plan. He would find a dumpster and hide in it. Not the most, satisfied hiding spot, but then he would poke holes with his knife hands and wait for a weapon to be dropped so he could get it. As the exorcist continued to rain down, screams were heard as Jeff would smile, as he would love the screams, as he would love the anguish, as he would love the destruction. As he heard everything around him, as he heard all the deaths behind him, all he can do was giggle in glee. As he walked out, when the exorcism ended, he saw all the carnage, as he could only smile, so happy with it. As he picked up a small dagger, there were swords, there were spears, even a crossbow, but he wanted the dagger, just like old times. His nice fingers weren't much for picking up, but this will do. As Jeff would then go throughout, laughing, as he would strike down sinners across the land, as everyone would hear of this tale. Jeff should have learned his lesson back on Earth, but he got too cocky again. He was much faster, much more agile, much more stealthy. He felt invincible, but he wasn't. As Jeff would be stalking the radio demon, he wanted to prove to everyone how powerful he was. He wanted to prove to everyone that even the mighty radio demon could fall beneath him. As Jeff would jump down and sneak up behind him and then slash him with a dagger. But right before he hit him, Alastor would push him back with a tentacle and say, My. Who do we have here? Jeff would get up and say, Just call me Jeff. That hurts. I like pain. Alastor would say, You remind me of Nifty. I think this will be fun. As Alastor's tentacles would rise at Jeff, as Jeff would dodge all of them one by one and even run on them and grab them and swing on them as he ran over and kicked Alastor to the floor. But every time, right before he was about to stab him, he would disappear. As Alastor would then grow big and say, You really think you can take on me? As Jeff would say, I don't think, I know. As then he would just start to laugh, as he would crawl up Alastor's clothes straight to his head and jump to him and managed to scratch it, giving him a permanent scar, before Alastor was able to blast him down with magic. As Alastor kept blasting him, Jeff felt his skin begin to melt, as he felt like it was going to be over, until eventually he would wake up in a cage. As he looked, it was Alastor, as Alastor would say, Hello there, my new pet. As Alastor would look at Jeff, Jeff would simply get up and start to slash at the cage like an animal, as he would slash it with his knife fingers, but it would do nothing, as he would slash at it again and again and again and growl like a feral beast, as Alastor would just laugh. My, aren't you excited? You know, I think I want to see what you can do. As Alastor let him out of the cage, Jeff would try to attack him, but he couldn't. Alastor would say, I put a spell on you while you were asleep. You can't attack me now. So come on. I'm going to show you the ropes, as Alastor and Jeff began to walk downstairs. He then saw Charlie, as Charlie would say, who the heck is that? As Alastor would take Jeff around the town, as Alastor would hold Jeff by the neck. Oh my, you've been such a naughty one, haven't you? Well, I'm naughty too, Alastor would say as he laughed. As then he would turn on his radio show and say, we have a very special guest, Jeff, my new pet, and the slaughterer himself, as he could throw Jeff down. As he would then say, let's see how strong he really is. As Alastor would take him into a group of loan sharks and throw Jeff down. As Alastor would say, take care of them. As the main shark would laugh and say, is this really all we have to fight? One of them tried to bite off Jeff's head. Jeff would simply move between them and slice them. As he sliced them one-on-one, they shot at Jeff. They tried to punch Jeff. They used so many ways to hurt Jeff. But Jeff only had one way to hurt him, his favorite. His trusty knife. Jeff didn't care about the whole world. Jeff didn't care about anything around him. For a few seconds, he let loose in the madness. He let loose in the insanity. And he simply slaughtered. As Alastor would say, well done. As Jeff would look at Alastor, Alastor would look at him. As Alastor would say, you're a real artist, you know that, Jeff? I think you and I will get along quite fine. As Jeff would say, more. Alastor would say, well, get that worked on. As Alastor would go back to the hotel, he would actually start to build Jeff his own room, as Jeff would be magically chained to the wall so he can't hurt anyone, as he would start to swing his hand violently, trying to attack anyone who came near him. As Angel would say, so, what the heck is that thing? Husk would say, a man you don't want to flirt with. Interesting. Angel would say, hey, he might be a man, but, I have my limits. As Jeff would go, la, 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 la. Come here. Husk would say, that's Alastor's new favorite pet. He put a spell on him so he can't hurt him. Apparently, back on topside, he was a real bad apple, and no one could stop him. It took an entire police force and part of the military to bring him down. Angel would say, holy crap, then why is he weaker than Alastor here? Simple, Alastor had more time to perfect his craft, and he doesn't perfect anything. He just simply runs around and starts stabbing stuff. Jeff would look confused, as he would realize he didn't perfect his powers. If he did, he could have beat Alastor. But it's too late now. Jeff would then sigh, but then he would smile. Who cares about that? As long as he can cause carnage, that's all that matters, right? As he was thinking that, though, suddenly, Alastor would walk back down. Alastor would be excited to talk to Jeff, as he would walk up to him and let go of his chains, as Jeff would simply smile. Usually he was energetic, usually he was ready to fight, but as soon as he let him go, Jeff just looked at him calmly and said, time for the big one, right? Alastor would say, you are excited, correct. Soon we will fight Exorcist. As Jeff was excited, he was ecstatic to fight Exorcist, as his heart began to pump, as all he could think about was slaughtering them. Eventually the Exorcist would come, as they would start their slaughter. Well, Jeff would start his own slaughter, as he would run up to each of them with a dagger and start to slaughter them as soon as they land, as Jeff began to laugh. Now this is fun. As the battle continued, Jeff would simply wait on the sidelines, as he wanted the big one, Alastor himself. As even though he couldn't hurt Alastor, he had an idea. As Adam and Alastor began to battle each other, Adam and Alastor were actually equally matched for a while, until Adam hit him with a bit more power. But this time, Jeff would walk up to Adam and say, don't let him escape, he can phase through the floor. Adam would say, why are you helping me? He owns my soul. Oh, thanks. As then Adam would get rid of Alastor. As then he would look back to get rid of Jeff, but Jeff was gone, as Jeff ran off to continue his rampage and to train in hell. And that's going to leave things off. I want to do this for Halloween, but then I didn't, and then I forgot about the video. And I could have waited all the way to next Halloween, but I decided not to because he's one of my favorite horror stories. And he used to be everywhere on YouTube. There was clickbait everywhere about Jeff. Like, some of them were, like, cool fan parodies and animation. I just loved the fan art. A lot of them were like, they ruined Jeff. They ruined Jeff. I'm like, he's not a real character. I like to see him be cute. You know, I know. Horror characters is cute characters. Oh, my God, he ruined the character. The internet ruined him. It didn't. Trust me. Also, the internet made him, so. Anyway, I don't know. That's why I never got when people are like, the internet ruined this character by adding this, this, and this. I'm like, let the fans do what they want. Honestly, there are some toxic fans and are exceptions, but just let them do what they want. Who cares if they look girly in an image? Who cares if they get shipped with another person? You know, who cares? It's just fans having fun, you know? It doesn't affect the main story at all, so it doesn't matter, you know? Who cares? You know, that's just what I say. But hey, that's just me. You know, back when, when I first started this channel, when it was about anime, I thought about doing ships, but, like, I didn't want to do the types of ships that I wanted to do, because, ships are usually like, oh my god, it's a man and 1,000 of these, like, usually that's how, because I've seen those clickbait videos, what if Deku married all of them or something like that? Yeah, I used to that's how I got into what ifs, were Deku what ifs. Does anyone still, I don't even watch that. Then I got into Dragon Ball, then I got into Star Wars, and now I'm making Hazbin content. I don't really watch what ifs that much. Every once in a while, I'll watch a Star Wars what if, and maybe a Dragon Ball one, but yeah, majority, I don't even watch Star Wars anymore, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, I just watch the what ifs about it, but yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with all your friends. And let me know what you think of him, and who is your favorite creepypasta. Let me know in the comments below. Peace out, yo.